There was a time in my life where on the outside I looked peaceful, but on the inside I was people pleasing. I didn't have boundaries with the people in my life, and I felt very stagnant when it came to what my purpose was and what it looked like to be successful. And this is how I found my way back to me. Hi, I'm Anaya, Peace Princess, and this is the ongoing, forever journey of finding inner peace, healing, and unlearning every single thing that has kept me feeling like I was in survival mode up until this point in my life. So, welcome if you're on the journey to finding deeper meaning, deeper peace, and understanding of yourself, then this is the place for you. And welcome to my channel. Feel free to subscribe, and why not like the video now? Why are we gonna wait till the end? Why not do it right now? But yeah, so there's this term that we all know of, strong black girl, and I feel like that term has so many individual experiences tied to it. And this is what that experience looked like for me. I was always that friend that kind of always had advice for people. I never had any questions about my life and where I thought I should go, because in my mind as a young person, you know what sounds right. You know what adults respond to positively. And when I was asked what I wanted to do, I said doctor, and my parents responded well. Everyone that asked me what I wanted to do and what I wanted to major in when I was 6 years old, they all responded well when I said nurse or doctor. So that was it. I wanted to be a doctor. I was in sports, and I was on the JV team in track and field. I did 400 and 200. And when they gave me the opportunity to practice with varsity, it wasn't a choice. It wasn't a choice. I just did it because I was married to the idea of acceptance, and I had an attachment to it. Like, if what I'm doing leads to me being accepted, then I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to be the best that I can at this certain thing. Regardless of how it served me and my purpose and made me feel, I was still going to do it because I craved the acceptance from the people in my life more than I craved the acceptance of myself from me. So, yeah, at that point, I didn't know how to help myself, how to create a deeper purpose for myself, because I didn't know that I needed help. It felt so normal. It felt like everything I was supposed to do, so I should be happy, right? But then I just took a step back and I looked at all the elements of my life when it came to, my major in school. When I was in college, I was a biology major. I looked at my friends. I looked at the amount of money that I was making, and just all these different elements, and thinking at least 2 years in advance. And I thought, is everything that I'm doing and every way that I'm communicating and everything that's in my life, is that leading me closer to a life that I'm going to want to live? Or am I just living for everyone else who supports that strong black girl, that successful black girl version of me? Is that the most authentic version of me? So I thought of that lifestyle and that reality in 1 or 2 years, and I decided, no, that's not what I want to do with my life. I'm not going to be on this earth for however many years that I'm here and create a life that I don't even want. I remember one day I was in a hospital with somebody doing something. I don't remember, but I was talking to a nurse, and I think I was with my aunt, and she told the nurse that I wanted to be a nurse when I grew up too. And then she looked at me and she said, "You want to be a nurse?" And I said, "Yes." And then she said, "You have to really love people to do this job." And that, like, something really clicked when she said that, because it's not that I don't love people. It sounds like the way she said it was, this job is hell. And the only way to get through it is to really love the people you're taking care of. Taking care of, yeah. And I was like, I don't want to go through hell in any sense of the word, not the HE or the LL. I want peace. So that's when I decided in the back of my mind, I'm still kind of going to go through with it. You do have these inclinings throughout your journey, but you don't necessarily listen to them right away. You kind of just keep doing what you got to do until you learn that lesson. So I was on my way to learn my lesson. I already went to college, already picked the major, but then I was like, okay, I remember what that lady said, and there's no point in me doing this if it's not going to create a life that I want to live. So I did the thing, but the thing wasn't for me. So yeah, I realized that the dreams that I was trying to accomplish were not my own, and it wasn't worth it to go through all of the challenges just to come closer to an ideal that was put on me and that I didn't create myself and that didn't come from my soul alignment and what I was really put here to do. All of my interests were so different from what I was physically pursuing. I'm such a creative. I enjoy art. I enjoy so many things that had nothing to do with what I was doing. Like why would I not want to incorporate the things that I love to do physically into my career, my daily life, my friendships, my this, my that. So, yeah, I started to develop a sense of self-autonomy in that moment, and I started to, instead of consulting with the people around me, I started consulting with myself. And then I took these different aspects of my life that I stepped back and looked at, and I said, what feels right? Like, to what degree is this a very strong yes, and is this a repulsive no? So I evaluated each area, and I became comfortable with the idea of indulging in the polarities of each of the sections of my life. Religiously, I was not religious, then I was very religious, and now I'm spiritual. Financially, I tried different things, and I wanted to never have a job, and then I wanted a stable job and a W-2, and started like breaking down every system that I've been taught. And the only way for me to come closer to what I truly believe in is to explore the polarities of it all. Because how can you have blind faith in something if you don't know my laundry is ready? How do you have blind faith in something if you don't know what it's like to not have that thing and to not have an attachment to this idealistic version of yourself that practices this one thing with religion specifically. But yeah, instead of having this rigid framework and following this framework, I decided to, break free of that, break free of what it looked like to be a strong Black girl, to have this rigid morning routine. I was definitely a box ticker, and I had all these things that I did in the morning, and if I didn't do all 6 or 7 things, then I was not going to have a good day at all. No, I was not going to have a good day. I was kind of tweaking about it too. But yeah, just decomposing that. I did a lot of meditation to just listen and take note of what was in my mind. And I think there's 2 versions of meditation. There's more return to silence type of meditation, and then there's take note of what your thoughts are in your mind type of meditation. And you can use meditation however way suits you the best, but for me, I like to take note of what's in my mind so I can realize, oh, I reacted this way to this thing. Noted. And then think, do I want to change that reaction? Was that reaction fine? Or I'm thinking way too much about this thing. Noted. Does it serve me to have to play the scenario over and over and over again that happened, or to create a new scenario that hasn't happened and play it over and over and over again in my mind? Is it healthy? Just taking notes of everything that's in my mind, and when I had something come up that brought up a fork in the road, like a decision of should I stay in school, should I drop out? Guess what? I dropped out. But when that fork in the road came, I was able to sit in silence and meditation, and my thoughts would go to places like, what would your life look like? I would start painting pictures of what my life would look like if I dropped out. And it was so beautiful. Guess what? The sun was shining, birds were chirping. I was frolicking in a field and rolling around the grass. And I don't roll in the grass anymore. But because I know how itchy that can be. But I do spend a lot of time in the sun. Um, but yeah, that's metaphorically, of course, just the feeling of not being in that system. I would daydream of what it would be like to not be Christian anymore. And I would daydream of what it would be like to not spend 4 years at a university to get a degree that I knew I was not going to use. I would daydream about quitting certain jobs. I would daydream about just my life changing and coming closer and closer to what I actually wanted. And I followed that instead of having the painful remorse. And it's very minuscule, the pain of not choosing what you want to do, but it's like, what's that phrase where it kind of kills you softly every single day, but it's not like a sharp pain. It's very dull, and it wears on you, and it wears on your soul, on your spirit. But it's like you can endure the job day to day. Like, it's not that bad. I guess I'll stay. I guess I'll do this every single day for the rest of my life because it's comfortable. Yeah, I also started that embracing the fact that change was going to come with the unknown, and that everything that I would come in contact with after I made that change, I would be able to handle because it's a part of my deepest purpose. And not feeling this sort of guilt, like, what if when I change my mind, it's not going to work out? What if when I change my mind, everything falls apart? Well, I gave myself the autonomy to do that and to make changes. And I just told myself, if it doesn't work out, I'm able to change my mind again. And that goes into the falling in love with the polarities. If I swing all the way left, which way's left? If I swing all the way left, I'm going to give myself permission to swing all the way right if I don't enjoy that, because I want to experience the entire spectrum and know where I lie, because if I don't have those experiences, then how am I supposed to learn more about myself and where my soul belongs? I also did shadow work. I recognized the way that I would react to certain things, and the the understandings that I had as a child around certain situations. And I recognized the way I would bring those understandings into my present life and then react to the people in my life, react to just certain circumstances that were going on. And I would tell myself, you don't need to react that way because what's happening now isn't what happened then. And it's different. And you don't need to judge every single scenario by that lens that you had as a child. That's where affirmations come in with, I am safe, I belong, I have everything that I need. And I started nurturing that inner child. And she would also come up when I was doing things that didn't serve me. My body would tense up. I would feel like I needed to get out of it. It just didn't feel right, and instead of pushing it down because I was subscribing to the notion of becoming that successful black girl who was Christian, went to school and has a bachelor's and all that, which is a lot of pressure, I decided to follow whatever kind of black girl I am, and knowing that she knows what's best for me. She is the best life coach for me because only I know what speaks to my heart the strongest. So whenever she would come out and be like, "You're uncomfortable, you're stressed," I would listen to her and then nurture the stress or the discomfort and kind of like reassess the game plan. Like, where are we going to go? What do you want to do instead of this? What is the action plan? Not to just start quitting things, but how can I fill this huge section of my life with something else that just like pries at my passion a little bit more, because what we're doing is not working. Yeah, another thing that I did to connect deeper to my peace was explore my chakras. And I think chakras are a great framework for healing because each one is associated with a different aspect of yourself, like safety, pleasure, confidence, love, speaking up for yourself, understanding the lessons that you've been exposed to in your life, and then having a connection to your intuition and connection to the world and people around you. So I studied the chakras and I was able to learn so much about myself. Like, hey, maybe I'm not so confident. Maybe I don't speak up for myself. And through affirmations and really being sensitive to the lessons that were being presented to me in my daily life, and then using those lessons, using those opportunities to grow stronger in my different chakras, I was able to learn so much about myself. And there's peace with knowing. You don't need to be perfect, but knowing that there's room for growth brings a lot of peace and a lot of healing. So yeah, the chakras is another tool that I used. And I know I've mentioned intuition, but to get deeper into that, if you don't take anything else from this video, please understand that your intuition is your compass and it is your strongest guide that you will ever encounter. I started treating my intuition as I would treat a mentor or someone that I respected and loved in my life, because she's going to come up when nobody's around. She's going to come up when you don't have someone to turn to. And this is where that deeper peace and inner knowing comes from, when you listen to your intuition and you trust that inner voice that tells you this isn't the best decision for you, career-wise, relationship-wise, financially. You're going to know every time you spend $5 on boba that it's not going to fulfill you. There was one day I had to drop it. I'm like, boba is not the answer. Boba will never be the answer. Sadly, but deeply in my gut, I was like, we got to take a break. We got to take a break from the boba. Your intuition will know, your body will know, and your body will take you there. So listen to your body. And this is for the black girls healing out loud and unlearning the black girl aesthetic, the strong black girl, and just really getting in tune with who you are, deconstructing what the world believes you to be, and anyone else who is unlearning the everything that's put you into survival mode and relearning peace, inner healing, and understanding. So, yes, if you're on your own journey to re-enter peace, subscribe, like the video, and comment down below your thoughts and where you are now in your journey. I'd love to hear so I could connect with you guys. And thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, you gotta subscribe to little old me. Why not? And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.